Today's reading picks up right where last week's left off. And the same thing happens next week. So this one chapter of Matthew, the lectionary considers so important that it leaves out not one verse. Now you have to remember that this Bible is pretty big, right? And only a small percentage of it makes it into the lectionary. From one week to the next, the lectionary sometimes skips forward 10 or more chapters. But here is no skipping, no leaving anything out. But I do believe the words regain at least a little bit of their initial shock value when read as a whole, one big chunk all together. And I ask you all, as your pastor and spiritual guide, when was the last time you read through an entire chapter of the Bible? You can save that confession for your God, but may we actively respond to the frequent criticisms of our church and all mainline Protestant churches that we don't know nothing about this book. So today we're going to get a little bit, little disciplined practice, and we're going to read through the entire 5th chapter of Matthew. And as an aside, the Sermon on the Mount continues for 2 more chapters, 3 full chapters of Jesus speaking. But only one more lectionary selection comes from it. So without given giver a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that anyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of unchastity, causes her to commit adultery. And whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Again, you have heard it was said to those of ancient times, you shall not swear falsely, but carry out the vows you have made to the Lord. But I say to you, don't swear at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God, or by the earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. And do not swear by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let your words be yes, yes, or no, no. Anything more comes from the evil one. You have heard it was said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist an evildoer. In fact, if someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your coat, give your cloak as well. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile with him, go also the 2nd mile. Give to everyone who begs from you, and do not refuse anyone who wants to borrow from you. You have heard that it was said, you should love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be children of your Father in heaven. For let's be real, he makes the sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet only your brothers and sisters, what more are you doing than others? Do not even the Gentiles do the same? Be